Good morning, guys. Welcome to another MysticEve's vlog. And I also call it Mornings with Me because it's basically what I do in the mornings. So it was kind of a strange morning this morning. And the front door was open and I forgot to close it, which is really unlike me. I mean, I lock this place up all the time because of all the thieves. So even though I forgot, obviously, or maybe Sophie closed. Did you close the door last night? That's what it was. You didn't latch it. Okay. Mystery solved. But anyway, anything like that happens out of the ordinary, you should always pay a little bit of attention to it and wonder, maybe that's a sign for something else. Anyway, clues are very important. And my books on my bedside table were not in their usual position. Practicing awareness of your surroundings at all times. I didn't know what the hell I was gonna do this video on this morning when I got up. I usually don't. It's usually when I just start doing what I do, which is, it's kind of like a pacing, maybe a little bit, drinking my coffee, staring into the forest, watching the animals or the cows, or laying in a hammock or staring at the sun, whatever it is I do in the morning. I'm practicing awareness and meditation. So I start sweeping. That's when all the downloads started coming. And last night there was a big rainstorm. It was the first night Wesley slept outside, so I didn't sleep very good because I was like, oh man, I hope he's not getting wet. And then this morning, the water is getting pooling up around the tent, so I had to dig some ditches to keep the water out of the tent, which was fun. And so yeah, then I started sweeping. Now I clean very, what's the word, maybe methodically? I have had basically martial arts training on cleaning, and I have observed a lot of people cleaning. Being in the tattoo studio, it's the first thing that apprentices get made fun of, basically, in the old school tattoo world. I mean, you're the brunt of the jokes. I mean, you are the cleaner. You have to clean up the shop. And anytime any of those guys could hound you for something, they will. My teacher was this biker guy in Maine, and he used to hide peanuts in the corners, and if I didn't find the peanuts, I would have to do something stupid, crazy, or he'd just scream at me, or throw it at me, or, whatever it was in that crazy atmosphere. I had shit thrown at me, chairs thrown at me, whatever. And watching somebody clean, and when they clean, is something that I have observed a lot of. And so when I started sweeping, it was like, you should talk about this. And I'm like, that's not interesting. Nobody's going to want to listen to me talk about sweeping. And then they were like, yeah, but you know a lot about cleaning, and you know a lot about the broom being a sacred object of the house, and you know a lot about meditation while cleaning, and you should say it in your own way. And then I'm like, okay, fine. So I I really talk to myself like this. So cleaning should be done in a meditative state. You should always be focusing on your breath, focusing on the movement, focusing on moving and pushing the air and the dirt. Let's just focus on sweeping specifically. Because see, witches know a lot about brooms. They actually fly on them, which is really cool. But for any Wiccan, the broom is held in a very special spot in the house. And should be. And every time they sweep, they are sweeping the demons out. And they sweep every day. Is that a stereotype? I'm saying a true witch sweeps her house every day. And then as I'm sweeping and thinking about this and breathing and just kind of letting the downloads come, I was like, yeah, you should say that too. I was like, what? Really? The pinup girl, I always really liked pinup girl art. And as a tattooist, you know, it was around me a lot. But the pinup girl in the kitchen is my favorite. I can't help it. I can't help it. You should always keep a clean kitchen. And it's kind of sexy. Cleaning the kitchen, or sitting on the kitchen counter, or bending over to get cookies from the oven. I don't have an oven. But dancing in the kitchen is a really wonderful practice. Dancing, you should dance in the kitchen. When you're sweeping, you should, you know, when I was a kid and I watched Snow White and she sang that whistle while you work, I really took that to heart. You should always whistle and sing and talk to the animals while you're cleaning and sweeping and keeping the house. This is an energetic space, the house or the temple, whichever one it is you are holding space for. And then it just organically moved to, I had gotten sidewalk chalk and colors. I had just white that we had found, like natural sidewalk chalk that we had been doing the floor mandalas with. But the other day, not too long ago, I splurged on some colors and I was like, you know, you've been looking at these things for the last couple of days. You know you want to paint the temple floor. And I'm like, yes, I do. You should go do that. Yes, I will. So I'm going to slide some pictures in so you can see them here. One of the things that I do is stand here, facing here, hands here, and my forehead is here, but I'm facing the other way, right? Usually my eyes are closed, and I'm standing like this. And then all of a sudden, like, I am transported into a cave, but it was not, I saw the mirror. It was like I was here, like this on the wall, and I saw the other side of the wall. It was kind of like that. It's hard to describe these kinds of things. So I saw beyond the veil, basically, and there was again, hard to describe, little human-esque, alien-esque, I would call them, first I wrote down children of the forest, and then I wrote down children of the stars, and then I started realizing that there was probably a link between the two, but I felt them, and it's like, I was trying to explain it to Wesley this morning earlier, it's like, it's a figure, for me personally, because this is only my experience. I can only share with you my experience. Different for everybody. But there's a lot of similarities for people too, I've noticed. But these guys, it's like it's one figure, but I feel them all. And one of the things that I thought was like trees and how they can communicate. You know, I love Ferngully and I love Avatar. Fucking Avatar. I love that movie. That was fucking brilliant. So many esoteric truths in that. Anyway, that's what I felt. I felt this on the other side of the veil, but the sweet thing is that we were hand to hand and forehead to forehead. Like, that's what, like, it was like so sweet and loving and compassionate and childlike. And yeah, dude, like, I'm feeling it in my throat now, but I started crying. I was crying. I was weeping. Yes, absolutely. It was beautiful. And, yeah, so, but, it was kind of a heavy morning. I mean, I think about the cards. Of course, I think about these guys, and I'm like, I mean, what do you guys want to say? You know? So, I shuffle, 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 shuffle. Center, north, south, east, west. What's in the center? I flip it, and it's King of Hearts. Immediately, hearts, water, emotion, and King, and center, and I instantly was like, hey Neptune, how you doing? And yeah, so I was like, okay, this is, you know, really a watery, I've been dealing with a lot of fire and a lot of water. Fire and water, y'all. Fire and water. And so then I'm like, okay, so what's in the north? So I flip it over, and it's Ace of Hearts, and arms in the air. Whoa! It's an ace. The powers of water. Now earlier, I had pulled a spread for me and got Ace of Fire. Kid you not, it's right here, written down, proof. And here is Ace of Water. And there's such a focus on fire and water and fire and water and fire and water and love. So what's in the south? I flip it, and it's the Fool, which I'm just going to start saying it's the child. Because for me, well, and for us, the word fool, you're a fool, just paints the wrong picture. It's not a fool. It's, I mean, being foolish, that kind of talk was a long time ago. Nobody says, you're being so foolish. They're like, you're being silly, you know, or you're acting like a kid, or you're acting like a child. So this is the child card in the south. Rooted. And I instantly, of course, I mean, this card is all about the inner child and being playful and, you know, playing with fire and playing with water. And when you're playing with something, you're not scared of it, for one. And I also thought of these guys, the children that I made contact with earlier this morning. And I was like, wow, okay, they're holding us. It felt like roots. Because the roots, that's why the roots, that just came to me. The roots, and it's in the south. Because like the first thing I thought when I felt them was the tree roots and how all of the trees can connect. And I saw that avatar image of the glowing roots. So beautiful. So what's in the east? And I flip it, and the Ace of Wands comes out again. The Ace of Clubs, which is wands. I like saying wands because I literally imagine the fire wand. And when I say the word club, like when I say hearts, I should say the word club, but I don't think of a club. Clubs are like big, bulky, you know, something you hit a dwarf on the head with, you know? Like, I mean, typically clubs don't have fire. I mean, I guess unless you're like, I mean, the really big, strong dwarfs. I can get into a clubs. But anyway, I think thin wands, that's the first thing I think of. And here's this fire stick again. And shedding light coming up in the east on top of all of this water. This is a sunrise on the beach. It's this spread. I was like, wow, that's beautiful. And the kids playing on the beach. So what's in the west? And I flip it, I'm like 10 of swords or 10 of spades. And yeah, so this is the death card in my deck. I'm like, whoa. I was like, oh yeah, 10 of swords is the completion, the death and the rebirth and the transformation into the air. And this is at the end of the day in the West. At the end of the day, we're all going to die. And understanding that that is how you take off the weight of this, holy shit, I gotta save the world. Oh my God, what's going on with this planet and Mother Earth and all the pain and all the craziness, and I think I'm about to fucking die. I think I'm gonna have a heart attack. To deal with that, you have to be a child and just realize that everything has its death and rebirth. Everything. Even this planet, even this existence, everything. Yeah, there's a lot of death going on. It's definitely unbalanced. We definitely need to balance it out. I mean, that's what we're doing as magicians. That's what I'm doing, or I'm trying to do. As more and more people, the magicians, the wizards, the mystics, the seekers, the flow artists, the people that are so sensitive that all they can do is just swing and dance and sing and, you know, do art and yeah, to just play. Make sure to remember the surprise affiliate link down below. I also have no idea what that's going to be, but it'll be something cool. And check out my link tree. I've got a I've got spiritual journals, self-published on Amazon. I've got podcasts. I've got a Patreon account. Yeah, I'm doing all the stuff. So, have a great day. Talk to you later.